how did you get to work with Thanasi? Was that how far into that journey with Seaside? How did that come about?
Well, I obviously developed a really good relationship with him during my time at Tennis SA initially. So he was probably, 10 when I first started working in there. So I had a really good relationship with him. And I guess, we played a lot of video games together at certain stages. Like we might be on a trip or something like that. And we just got along well. Like we're both into NBA. So we had a lot of, again, common interests in different things. And he rang me up one day, not long after I had my first child. So it's probably 3 years I'd been down at, 2 years I'd been down at Seaside. He said, would you come and spend some time with me on the road? And it was a tough conversation with my wife because it's away from having a young family. So we started, I said, yes, I can, but I probably can't do that many weeks. I think we started about 12. And I'd kind of chip in for when Todd Langman couldn't be there. And then that kind of moved and rolled into about 16 in the second year that I did it. And I don't know what it was in the third year that I did it. But it kind of just developed through that. We've got a lot of common interests. We still stay in touch now, just through, a lot of commonalities that are not just tennis but outside of tennis. And we kind of, I'd like to think we got on quite well on the tennis court. Like we had a pretty good relationship in the fact that because I knew him from such a young age, I could be really honest with him. And sometimes that doesn't necessarily mean saying things that he wants to hear, but actually some of the things that he might not want to hear. And that was probably one of my strengths for him, is that I was never afraid to tell him what needed to be said. And
probably delivered it in a really good way as well with the relationship you had.
I hope so.
Yeah. What sort of things were you looking to help him with at that part of his career?
I think understanding how to best use his shots. Like he's got such a... you see his best tennis is incredibly good. Like he can hit anyone off the court. I kid you not, I don't reckon I ever watched him lose a practice set with anyone. And we practiced with Federer for 2 weeks in Dubai. I never saw him lose a practice set. We practiced with a lot of good players. But just learning how to take that using of his game and implement that into match play a little bit more, so that it wasn't as predictable as, he's just going to hit a serve and it's just going to be a big forehand. And we tried to evolve the backhand a little bit to try and help him with using his forehand a little bit more. Some different stuff on serve direction, speeds and spins, and just understanding that were probably the big things on the court. And then, I don't know, I think off the court it was more so just being a sounding board. There's a lot of pressure on these people that are going out there and having to play. And just having someone there that you can trust to give you some honest feedback, I think was important for him, especially at the time when he's kind of growing and really trying to mature as he goes through this process. It's a hard thing to do on the road.
He didn't have much of a childhood, and then he's thrusted straight to the tour, and then he's trying to figure out who he is as a person, and he's on the road a lot, and not having a solid base. It's not easy.
No, exactly.
And you got to love it. What were some memorable matches with Thanasi, or memorable times that you had that stood out?
Our first event together, he made the final of the 250 in Los Cabos. So he beat Tiafoe in the first round, Fritz in the semis or quarters, Berdych. Like, he had a really good week in that first week we were together. So that was kind of like, okay,
we're on here.
Yeah, we're on here. So that was a really good week. And then, and just the quality of player that was there. And then he qualified at the Australian Open one year, beating a couple of players to get through into that, which was really exciting. And then probably he played a challenger in Las Vegas, and the challenger had some skill, like it had some really good players in it, and he won that. So they were probably three highlights. I forget who they had in the event in Las Vegas, but the quality of it, I think Opelka was one of them. but the quality of it was just really good.
Yeah. What do you help him with initially for him to go so well in Los Cabos? Was that just new environment? Was there something you felt like you brought that actually helped him initially straight away that he could grab onto?
I don't know. You might have to ask him that one. I
hope I do.
Yeah, exactly. I just think for me, it was just we could be each other and understand each other, which I guess is how a good relationship is formed. And I think for him to feel comfortable in expressing whatever it was that he needed to express was really important for him. Yeah. And I think it might have been a new environment. The conditions, it was hot, it was bouncy, and we probably didn't have the best lead up going into it, but just, I guess, him feeling comfortable. I think when you see a lot of players perform well on the court, a lot of the stuff that they've had bubbling away off the court is kind of pretty smooth, and I think that one probably helped Thanasi a little bit with him off the court. We were able to kind of talk about other things.
Yeah, nice.
Not necessarily, for us, it was not necessarily all about tennis all the time.
Just catching up as mates for the first time again.
Yeah.
Yeah.